Hello again, welcome back. Today I have a chair class prepared for you that will have both seated and standing poses. So this is going to be need a little more mobility than the class that I had previously done, which was all seated. So if you haven't checked that out and you want something a little more gentle, feel free to start there. But today we will be getting out of the chair about halfway through, working on some standing poses and some balance. I'd also like to thank Libby from Essential You Yoga for letting me use her beautiful space, giving me an opportunity to do more standing and have some more room to do some more poses here with you. So thanks for that, Libby. All right, so let's get started. Sitting down in our chair, just finding a comfortable seat. We want to make sure that we're level, so maybe even just walking our hips just kind of side to side, just making sure we're really grounded and firm in the seat. We're really feeling that seat underneath us. And then settling into stillness, somewhere in the chair, maybe toward the middle or the front. We don't want to be all the way relaxing into our chair and giving all our weight on the chair. If you need to, you can use support of the back of the chair, but try to stay upright. Try to keep that nice tall spine. So if you can engage the core a little more coming off the back of the chair, that's just going to help to work your core throughout the class as well. So go ahead, close into the eyes if you're comfortable closing the eyes. Just being here with the breath. Just feeling the body. So you want to feel any sensations you can feel, taking you into the current moment. So what are you feeling maybe under your feet? Just noticing the texture of the floor or the mat beneath you. Noticing maybe the feeling of clothing on your skin or under your palms. Noticing the temperature of air on your skin. Maybe there's a gentle breeze or a fan, or maybe just feeling that still air just on your cheeks or your shoulders or palms. And just being here in this moment, noticing maybe any areas you're feeling tension in the body. Also acknowledging any areas that you feel soft or content or relaxed. And we'll be here just for another breath or two, just observing, becoming more self-aware. Taking this time for ourselves is like a gift we're giving ourselves. So just being here with that for the class, just being present. So you can keep your eyes closed. We're going to start to bring in a little bit of movement. So we'll start here with just a simple chin to chest. And then right ear to right shoulder. And then chin can come back to the chest. And we'll make our way over to that left side. So continuing at your own pace, exhales, drop your chin to the center. Inhales, lift ear to shoulder. Letting shoulders be heavy, just bringing ear toward the shoulder as you come up to one side. And back down. Over to the other side. A few more rounds here, just taking what you need, side to side. And finishing off that movement, we'll meet back at center, taking our chin back upright. And we'll start to maybe flutter the eyes open if they're still closed, just starting to take in the light once again. Let's take some big breaths here. So inhale, arms come up and overhead, bringing our palms to touch. And then exhale, flipping palms back down and just letting them fall back down to the sides. So we'll take a few breaths just like that. Big breaths in, flipping palms up, drawing them toward one another. And then exhaling, letting the breath float the arms back down to the sides. We'll do one more just like that. Inhale all the way up. And then exhale all the way back down. And then we'll work our arms one at a time, starting with the left arm coming forward. And then option 2, maybe cactus the arm and come swim it back. So taking any variation that feels right. Inhale now, right arm. You can always just come right back down, or you can make your way out to the side or back behind you coming down. So playing with what feels right. Arms can be straight or bent. Exhales lower you down. Inhales lift up. Just getting a little bit of movement into the shoulders, maybe taking both at the same time if that feels okay for you. Just starting to open up a little bit more. Big breath in. And then full breath out. Let's just take one more here. If you're still going side to side, just finishing out to even out on that second side. And then we'll relax our hands down at our sides. Left hand is going to come up toward the ceiling. Right hand can either be on the side of the chair for support or just hanging down on the side. We're going to reach up through that left hand really tall, and then we're going to exhale, falling over toward that right side. So our right hand can again either be on the chair or it can slide down for a little deeper stretch. We want to keep sit bones really grounded here, holding us, connecting us to the chair. And then we'll breathe back up. And then let that left hand come down to the side. Again, same thing on the other side. We'll breathe up first, reaching that right hand up to the top, and then starting to find that side bend as you rainbow over toward that left side. Left hand could either slide down the chair or hold on for support. We're staying grounded through the feet in the seat, just getting that stretch through the upper body, and then coming back up and bringing that hand back down. I'm going to come into our twists. So starting gently, hands come here to the lap. We're just going to start looking over one shoulder at a time, coming back through center, and then over to that other side. So nice and gentle to start. Inhales can bring you through center. Exhales help you twist a little more as you gaze over one shoulder. The hands might be naturally sliding on the lap as my chin turns toward the left side. My left hand comes back toward the left hip. And if you want a little bit more intensity, maybe starting that swimming, kind of swimming the hand, maybe connecting to the side or the back of the chair. Option to stay a little longer in the twist, just using the chair for leverage, staying nice and tall through the spine, and then just twisting around that center line. And if you want to take that option, just taking the same thing on that second side, twisting and then maybe holding, but always using an inhale to lengthen. So noticing if your back is starting to round, finding that length, but relaxing shoulders, and then each exhale gives you an opportunity to get a little deeper into the twist. So as you exhale, you're emptying, making space in the belly to find that twist through the torso. Nice and tall. One more breath if we'd stayed on this side. And then come back to center. Let's go ahead and widen our knees out to the side. So a little wider than the chair, toes pointing, tracking outward. If you're back further in the chair, you're going to want to slide a little closer toward the front of the chair, but making sure you're still nice and secure here. From here, we're going to take our cow and cat movement. So for cow, we're going to keep those knees open, really placing our chest kind of forward, making room here as we tilt that chin up, gazing up and back, leaning into the knees. And then as you exhale, pulling that spine back toward the seat or toward the back of the chair as we tuck and round. Looking down toward the belly button now. Inhale, belly button comes forward, chest and heart lift, shoulder blades draw toward one another. Option to let that head come up and back any amount. And then exhale, starting to round the spine. Knees might even start to come in toward one another slightly. So go ahead and take these at your pace. Always an option to close the eyes here helps to feel into the body a little bit more. Just allowing the body and the breath to guide you through the movement. Inhales are always going to bring you forward and up with the chin, making space in the lungs and the chest for that full breath. And then exhale, send everything back, giving space to tuck and round as you squeeze that stale air out. Just taking a few more here at your own pace. And then we'll start to come into stillness for a moment, finding our center. And once we're there, we'll start to rotate, finding hip circles. So I have that similar movement as we come toward one knee, maybe even shining the chest a little bit forward as you round around that front of your circle here. And then as you exhale, coming back, maybe even rounding and tucking. So you're getting that similar cow and cat, but now we're going in circular movements. Inhales can lift you up, really drawing chest down toward the center. And then exhales, rounding and tucking as you make your way back. So maybe taking one more rotation and then finding a comfortable opportunity to switch directions. We just want to get a few circles here into that opposite direction. As you're making this movement, it's again mostly through the upper body. So we're keeping ourselves always grounded through the feet and the seat. So really feeling those connections, pressing down, feeling the earth, being connected here in a way that helps us make that movement in the upper body from a place of stability. Let's take one more circle to even out on this side. And then make your way back to center. We'll walk our heel toe our feet back inward so they're about hip width apart. Finding ourselves here. We're going to take our left leg out in front of us. So our heel is going to be down, toes are pointed up. Again, you may need to shift forward a little bit so that you're comfortable toward the front of the seat, but again, still supported. Hands can be on the sides of the chair if you need that support. If you're feeling comfortable and want to lift maybe one hand up, maybe both, but maybe one hand. And then exhale, reaching down that leg any amount. So we're reaching toward the feet and toes, no need to touch. We're just reaching in that direction. If it's comfortable and stable for both hands, you can go ahead and do that. Letting the head and neck just start to release downward, feeling that stretch through the back of that leg. One more big breath here. And then slowly make your way back upward. And we'll go ahead and switch sides, letting that right leg come out now. Flexing the toes, option to take one or both hands up. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, leading with the chest, coming forward, really pressing through that left foot. So we're staying grounded in the left foot, allowing ourselves to hinge forward maybe a little bit deeper as we press into the bottom of that left foot and take a breath or two here. And then back upright. Pressing into the sole of the foot to rise back up, bringing our feet back underneath us. We're going to make our way to stand. So starting to stand up, taking your time, coming around behind the back of the chair. So we're going to use the back of the chair a lot for our stability. We're going to start just right behind the chair with some simple toe raises. So pressing down into the balls of the feet, coming up off the heels any amount, and then settling back down. So taking some of these at your own pace. Inhales help you lift up onto the toes, engaging the calves, and then exhaling, heels come back down. It's really important for our ankles to be strong. Helps with stability, balance. It's our foundation down at the bottom, just allowing this work to make its way into the ankles, maybe even into the feet and the toes, really strengthening that base for ourselves. Inhale. And then exhale down. Option to start to bring weight into the heels, maybe inhaling toes up. Coming back to flat feet, inhaling again, maybe coming up on the toes. Option to kind of interchange these. Exhaling to flat feet, inhaling, lifting toes. Exhaling back to flat feet, inhale, lift heels. Just being curious and playful, really feeling into all the sensations as you move through the foot here. Just one or two more rounds, just feeling into any final movements here. And then back to flat feet. We're going to, let's start by walking both feet back. We're going to come into our downward dog in the chair. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. As you walk back, you can come back any amount. We want to straighten through the arms here, keeping arms straight. We want to pull our hips up and back. So our feet are about hip width, but if it feels more stable, you could always come wider. We want to lift hips up and back, giving a chance for our back to really get a nice stretch. Knees can bend as much as you need to here. For some people that want some more intensity or have a little bit more room, maybe walking down to the seat of the chair, getting a little bit lower in the pose, giving another opportunity again for hips to really lift up and back. Our head and neck are a natural extension of the spine, so we're not straining to look forward. We're just letting head and neck be natural here. Resting between the biceps. Again, knees can bend as much as you need. Just being here for one or two more breaths. So if you have the hands down on the seat, walking your way back up to the top, and then starting to make your way back toward the chair. All right, from here, we're going to step back with just the right foot. So right foot steps back, left foot is forward, knee is bent. We're going to send the back heel down. So we're finding a place where we're grounded through the feet. Our front foot is tracking forward. Our back foot is going to start to open up toward the right side, the right long edge of the mat. So we're finding ourselves in a warrior two position. So go ahead and take that right arm out to the side. So we're teeing out the arm. If you feel comfortable and you want to tee out that front arm as well, you'll come into your warrior two. And one or both arms can be lifted. Our gaze is going to come either over those front fingers or just over toward the front of the chair. From here, we're going to start to reach that back arm up and overhead. So we're finding an extended side angle. As we do this, we're going to bend into front elbow, placing that front forearm along the back of the chair, and then reach that right arm up and through. So finding a nice long line of energy from the fingertips on the right hand all the way down through the heel, the outer edge of that back foot really planting down. And then from here, we're going to lift back up. Option to come into reverse warrior. So maybe just that back hand slides down, keeping the front hand on the chair for support. If you're feeling stable and want to lift that hand up, maybe rainbowing it back behind you. Really feeling like through that left side of the body, option to gaze up toward that elbow. One more big breath here. And then we're going to inhale back through our warrior two, and then maybe come back down again, resting that forearm down, coming into side angle one more time, reaching those fingertips up where the wall meets the ceiling. Nice long right side body. And then we'll bring hands back to the back of the chair. We'll spin onto the ball of that back foot and then step up again. So between our sides, we'll walk our way back, finding that downward dog again, relaxing into the knees any amount, lifting hips up and back. I like to imagine someone behind me with a strap around my waist, really pulling up and back, finding lots of space in those long arms. And just being here for another moment. And then walking back forward. And this time that left leg will step back. So we're finding our warrior two again. We're bending front knee no further than the ankle. And then we're opening that back foot to roughly a 90-degree angle, allowing the hips to open and the shoulders to open to the side. We're going to make sure that front knee stays tracking forward as much as possible. Holding on to the back of the chair, we're going to lift that back arm, finding our warrior two. Option, if you're feeling stable, to maybe float that front hand or come all the way up, gazing over the front of the chair, relaxing shoulders down, feeling warrior two. And then if that front hand is lifted, it's going to come back down. We're going to start to send that forearm down onto the chair, inhaling that back arm up and over, finding that extended side angle. I really love this pose in the chair. Without the chair, we typically rest our hand on the thigh and tend to pour a lot more weight in, whereas when we're lifted up a little bit, we're engaging the core just a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen, reach through the fingers. And then if you would like to find that reverse warrior, either staying on the chair, back hand reaches down the back leg, or maybe flipping front palm and then taking that up and back. Really staying grounded through the feet, pressing down into the soles of both feet, that front knee still tracking forward. Big breath here, maybe gazing up. And then let's come back into that side angle one more time, bringing that forearm down, back arm up and over. Reach, 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 lengthen, finding lots of space between each rib. Nice and spacious here, full breath in. And then take the hands down to the chair, spin your way forward, and then gently step out. Really nice. So let's come into a little balance. I'm going to have you keep your chairs right where they're at. We're going to come over to the left side of the chair. For balance, I always recommend no socks if they don't have grips. If you're using a mat and it's thick, definitely stepping off of it, off to the side of the chair, and then using the chair for support. So if your chair is on a ground that's not stable, putting a mat underneath will help from sliding when you're using this chair for balance. So standing nice and tall, nice and close to the chair so you're supported by it. We're going to take our left hand, starting with the hip, just going to stand up tall through the crown of the head, feeling into both feet, just being here for a moment. And then we'll start to shift all our weight over to the right side. We're going to come up on the left toes. So standing tall through that standing leg, Keeping the length through the crown of the head. Start to turn that left knee out to the side as we draw the foot in toward that standing ankle. So again, staying tall, not locking out the standing knee. This is your tree pose. You can stay right here if you want to intensify, maybe starting to slide that foot up the leg any amount. I always recommend either the lower or the upper leg. We just don't want to press into the knee. So anywhere here or up here is perfectly fine, but we're not pressing on the knee itself. And then from here, you can choose to just stay, finding a focal point, just relaxing into your breath as you work your balance, work the strength in that standing leg. Continue to embrace the core, standing up nice and tall. Option to hover the fingers, even if it's just for a moment. If you feel stable, just kind of playing with that. If you're feeling really stable today, maybe bringing both hands to the heart space. Just an option, not necessary. The chair is here for you. Taking whatever it is that you need and just being here. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Really nice. So go ahead and come out of the pose when you're ready to. Taking your time to make any movements that your body's asking for, shoulders, maybe ankles after we're standing. Focusing, just finding a little bit of movement here. We're going to work our way to the other side. So if you need a drink of water or anything at all, any more movement, maybe just a little bit of a side to side twist always feels nice. Just taking what you need before we come into that second side, really setting ourselves up. I like to try to line my hips up with the back of the chair, just feeling where I can be most stable, most supported by the chair. Our feet are pointing forward. This time our right hand is going to come to the hip. We're going to stand up nice and tall, checking in with our posture, seeing where we can adjust, maybe a little micro bend in the knees, leveling off the hips or relaxing shoulders. And then we'll start to pour weight now over to that left side, feeling into the bottom of the left foot, coming up on the ball of the right. Option to turn the knee out to the side and drag the foot in toward you. Staying nice and tall. Again here, we don't want to sink into the hip or leaning into the chair. We want to stay up nice and tall on that standing leg. Feet can stay kickstand or slide up the leg. Just focusing here on that length through the spine, being nice and tall, nice and grounded, as though we have roots growing out of the bottom of our feet into the ground. And then option to stay just like this or play with balance a little bit more, finding those hovers, finding the hands at the heart. Just taking anything at all that you're feeling ready for today, knowing that this is your practice, only taking what you need. And then just being here, let's come into our final 2 breaths wherever we've landed. Really nice. Go ahead and release. Shake it out. Take what you need. We're going to make our way back into the chair. Option here, we can just gently sit in the chair if you're just had enough and you're ready. If you want a little challenge, maybe first standing right in front of the chair, feet about hip width. And we can take our hands to our heart, gently lowering ourselves down as we sit and bend the knees, not quite coming into a seat right away, taking our time to keep those thighs parallel, letting the tailbone start to sink down, really taking our time to come into the seat, letting the upper body start to hinge forward. Maybe just taking a pause here, and then maybe the hands come to the sides and just gently guiding your way fully into a seat. All right, So let's take a few sun breaths just to reset here as we're sitting. Inhaling ourselves, finding that tall spine, maybe gazing up. Exhaling down through the center. And we'll take another breath like that, big breath in. And then full breath out. All right. So grounding back into our feet and our seat, making sure we're nice and stable. So maybe that hip walking again, just making sure the sit bones are connected to the chair. Sometimes even needing to kind of pull anything out of the way, really making sure we're connected and firm down in our seat. And we want to make sure our ankles are roughly under the knees. We're nice and supported with those right angles behind the knees. From here, we're going to take our right leg up, our right knee in toward the chest. So you can do this with both hands, or maybe keeping one hand on the chair and just using that right hand to kind of pull that knee into the chest. Take some rotations in the ankle. So again, one or both hands, whatever feels best for you here. Rounding again through that standing leg, sitting up nice and tall, taking a few rotations in each direction. And then maybe bringing the hand or hands behind the knee. And then just starting to open, straighten, and bend a few times. Inhales can help to lengthen. Exhales to bend. Let's take one more time. Fully open, or as much as feels comfortable. And then bend. And then we'll start to see, can you take that ankle and cross it over the left thigh? So if that doesn't work for you, you can always come lower down at both ankles. But if that feels okay, we'll come into a figure 4, letting the knee just gently drop down any amount. And sitting up nice and tall, we can use the sides of the chair for support if needed. We can stay tall like this, or if we're feeling comfortable and we feel like we have a little bit more flexibility in the hip, maybe starting to hinge forward. Again, not going to work for everybody, not necessary, but if you have that space for movement and you want to give it a try, just leaning forward any amount. Maybe you get to a place where you can let the head and neck fully relax, maybe even coming onto forearms, and just letting everything be heavy here. Checking in with the face and jaw, we tend to clench as we open our hips. So just letting the hips be open here for another moment. Relaxing anywhere we can. And always an option to stay upright. Wherever you are, just focusing on the breath, maybe sending it a little deeper down into the lower lungs, just grounding ourselves with the breath, letting the breath signal to our bodies that we are here to rest and relax. We are not in danger. And the more we can relax, the more that hip will naturally just open up. Let's take a final breath on this side. And then go ahead and start to cross that leg completely over. So we're taking our right leg completely over that left leg. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and then we're just going to find a twist. So let's make our way over to the right side. So right hand can come to the chair on the side, or maybe the back, and that left hand can kind of make its way inside or outside that right thigh. Maybe taking the back of the palm kind of toward the legs as we find length through the crown, and then use those legs as leverage as we just twist over to that right side for a moment. Again, the shoulders can be heavy. Crown of the head is tall. Inhale to lift one more time, and then exhale for that final twist. And then we'll come back through the center. Uncross the legs, set ourselves up for the other side. So taking time to make sure that right leg is really grounded, finding the ankle under the knee, the foot nice and supported. We're going to start to bring that left leg in toward us. Again, the hands can be using the chair. One hand can make its way onto the leg, or maybe both to hug that knee in a little bit closer. Whatever feels right for you, just trying to stay relaxed in the shoulders. Again, stay tall through the spine. You find that rotation in the ankle a few times in each direction. And with one or both hands working their way behind the knee, we'll just start to straighten that leg any amount and then bend the knee again. So a few times just like that. Inhale really helps me to lengthen. And then exhale one more time, knee into chest. And then gently guide that heel, if you can, over the thigh or crossing at the ankle. Sitting up nice and tall, trying to relax where you can, releasing any unnecessary tension. And then option for that forward fold if that feels right for you. Again, something might have worked on one side and it may not work on the second side. So just being mindful of that and settling in wherever it feels right in your body. We never want to strain or stress or cause any kind of pain or injury. We want to find our stretch, we want to find our edge, but we want to do it from a place of mindfulness where we're actually benefiting the body and not harming. A few more breaths here, just relaxing into the pose. Again, seeing anywhere that we're holding maybe unnecessary tension, just gently inviting that to release and relax. You could always stay as long as you need to, but if this side is feeling complete for you, you can start to come back upright if you're not already there, and start to cross that left leg over the right as we prepare for our twist, sitting up nice and tall, and then making our way over to that left side. Left hand can come to the side of the chair, maybe the back of the chair, wherever it feels right to support you into this twist, again, without forcing or pushing too far. Maybe that right hand comes on the outer edge of the thigh, bringing the hand and palm outward, just pressing gently for leverage, finding that height first, and then opening the chest and turning the chin over toward that left shoulder any amount. Inhales, find that length and that height. Exhales, help us twist just a little bit deeper. Being on this side for another breath, just feeling this final twist. And then making our way forward once more, uncrossing the legs. Let's take our feet out wider than the chair again, pointing toes out to the sides. We're just going to lift up through the chest, let the head fall back, opening the throat and the heart. One more deep breath in here. And then exhale, start to come forward, bringing our forearms to the thighs and letting the head and neck just release and relax down. So we're going to come into our final stillness. For some people, this pose really works for them. You can take your final stillness here. We'll just be here for about 2 minutes, so you can take it in this forward fold. If you want to work your way upright again, you can always use this opportunity to finally really relax into the chair, maybe even straightening the legs, letting hands come to the lap or to the sides, just finding any comfortable position for yourself. And just relaxing into our final stillness. Starting to notice the breath, just letting it move the body slightly with each round of breath, maybe starting to find more and more stillness as the breath starts to soften, starts to become more relaxed, and starts to settle into your shavasana with you. Eyes can be closed. Some people even drape a towel or shirt over their eyes for a little more darkness. Wherever you are, just being here, settling in, relaxing anywhere you can. And I'll be sure to let you know when our practice is complete. And now we'll start to deepen our breaths again, filling up fully on the inhale, bringing a little bit more movement to the torso. And then really feeling that contraction as you exhale. So taking the time to let your body decide where that next movement is going to come from, maybe the wrists or the ankles, maybe some rotations of the neck or shoulders, just letting your body decide what it needs. Looking within to find the answers, since they're all in there. Whenever you're ready, if your eyes are still closed, maybe starting to flutter them open, bringing in a little more light. Just coming back into the space around you. Just taking a final moment to consider how maybe you can bring this stillness into the rest of your day or your evening. Being mindful of how we come out of our practice, trying to ease into the rest of the day and maybe transition some of this mindfulness off of the mat and the chair. So to finish class today, hands can be on the lap or they can come to the heart space. Just taking a final moment to thank yourselves for being here. Always thanking ourselves for making it to the mat, for finding time for ourselves to practice. And thank you all so much for allowing me to share with you what my teachers have shared with me. Thanks for being here, and namaste.